So you follow along my last video where we installed N8N on Docker, and now you want to create your first workflow. Well, today we're going to do that. We're going to set up a little AI chatbot that's going to tell us a joke. And then what we're going to do is see what we can do with it. Maybe we'll send that message to a specific channel on Discord. We'll see. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Like I said, today we're going to take a look at making our first workflow in N8N. We're going to use a little chat command that's going to connect to an AI bot. It's going to tell us a joke, and then we'll eventually send it to a specific channel in our Discord server. This is going to cover setting up the workflow, setting up an AI bot, doing some credentials with an API key, and then also setting up a channel that's specific in our Discord server that has a webhook. So we're covering some really cool stuff here. Now, to do this, you need to obviously already have N8N installed and have access to it. Before I get in too deep on this, we are going to use Grok because it's free. You can use ChatGPT if you want, but that's not free. There are some other open source or free models out there. You can just go ahead and search and take a look. Most of the stuff that I do is I run it locally on my network. I run Ollama, and then it's free for, all the stuff that I do. So I don't have to worry about doing tokens or, any credits or anything over at, ChatGPT, OpenAI, etc. But like I said, for this one, we're going to do Grok because we can do a free account, and it's going to work great specifically for this example. If you are sending a lot of commands to Grok, you might get prompted eventually to, hey, put in a credit card for some billing info, but you probably won't get there. But just a heads up that eventually if you hit the limit, it might be asking you to put some stuff in for billing. So with that said, let's get over to N8N. Here we are in N8N, and I already created my first workflow, but what you can do, it's up at the top right here, it says create workflow. You can click that. If you followed my previous video where we did the specific or the special key that we got to input the license, we have the ability to create a folder. I'm not going to do that right now for this, but go ahead and click create workflow. It's going to take you into a screen that looks just like this. And the first thing we want to do is name it. So we'll click up here where it says my workflow. We'll call it AI joke bot. Cool. And we'll click the plus here under add first step. And this is what's going to trigger and start this workflow. So for this one, we're going to do a chat message. So on the right side, we'll click on a chat message, and we're going to leave all this default. We don't need to change anything in here. Next, what we want to do is where are we going to send this data? So at the bottom left here, you can see where it says chat. So whatever we type in that box down there, it's going to trigger this workflow and send that, data onto the next piece. So we'll click the plus to the right of the chat message here. We'll click AI, and there's a bunch of different options here. We can do, pre-made templates. We're not going to do that. We want to do this from scratch. So we'll click AI agent. With this pop-up, it's automatically filled out for us. So this is the source is the chat trigger node, which is what we just put in before this. And then it's automatically going to do the prompt. Whatever we put in there is going to be what it's going to send to the AI model. So that's great. We'll click out of that. Let's go hit save, and let's try it. Let's see what it does. So we'll say, tell me a joke about the zoo. And you can see we got an error, and it says a chat model subnode must be connected and enabled. And so just because we have this AI agent here, we're not actually connected to any sort of large language model. So this has the data, but it doesn't know what to do with it. So if we double click it, you can see here right above there, it says chat input, tell me a joke about the zoo. So whatever we typed in that chat box, it is sending it to the AI agent, but the AI agent doesn't know what to do with it. So let's fix that. Under chat model, go ahead and blow this up a little bit here. We'll click the plus, and on the right side, you have a bunch of different options here. Normally, like I said, for me, I would choose Ollama because I do everything locally. But for this example, we'll do Grok because that's what we're going to do. But you have If you want to do ChatGPT, down at the bottom right, you have OpenAI. I mean, you have, Google Gemini, there's Microsoft Azure, etc. So we'll go ahead and we'll click Grok. And what we have to do now is we have to set up a credential. So something that's going to, we send data to Grok, but we have to actually authenticate, log in so it knows it's us to do anything there. So we'll click the drop down here and we'll click create new credential. And here we need to go get an API key. So if we go over here to grok.com, GROQ.com, put a link in the description below, click the start building button. It's going to take us, to a login page. Go ahead and log in or create an account. Once you do that, you'll get to this page here. At the top right, we're going to click API keys and then create API key. And then we'll do here whatever we want to call the API key. So for this example, I'm just going to call it YouTube video example and submit. And here is our key. So go ahead and copy it. Make sure you keep it safe. Don't share it with anybody. This is going to be deleted by the time the video comes out, so don't worry. So we'll copy that, keep it safe. You can see here's all of our info here. Our key, when it was created, when it was used, how many API calls, right? So we go back to N8N. We'll paste our API key right in this box. And then allowed HTTP request domains, leave it at all. We'll click save and it worked. That's great. So now you can see it says we have a Grok account here, and now we choose our model. Grok gives us options for a ton of models. So if we go back into Grok and we just click Grok on the top left, you can see down here all these models it has for options. You can choose whatever you want there. Something for reasoning, function tool calling. So if you're doing something that requires some tools, you'll have to choose one of those. Text to speech, speech to text. So you can see here all the models and stuff they have available. What we're going to do is we'll go back here, and I think I'm just going to choose what I like is OpenAI GPT OSS 20. And that is actually what I run locally at home. So I'm already familiar with that. It's kind of just ChatGPT, essentially. Properties, we can set it to maximum number of tokens we want to use, sampling, etc. We can leave all that default because we're not going to really do much here with it. So now we have Grok chat model connected to our agent. So let's go ahead and click save on the top right. And if we now type in the chat box, tell me a joke about the zoo, you can see it's going to go to AI agent, go to Grok, send it back. The bottom right, it says, why did giraffe bring a ladder to the zoo? Because it heard the food was on the high level menu. So it worked, right? Awesome. We now have a joke bot, question. But now what are we going to do with that data? So there's a lot of cool things we can do. We can send it to, like Twitter, if we want to do a daily joke bot or a daily joke post on Twitter. We can have it automate to that. For this example, we're going to go ahead and send it to a channel in our Discord server. So go ahead, open up Discord, and then we'll create a new channel and get the webhook and everything set up, and we'll come back. Okay, here we are on my Discord server, and I'm going to create a new channel. So go ahead and create a new channel, however you like. I'm just going to call mine Joke Bot. I'm going to create private channel because I don't want to spam everybody on my server, but you can choose whatever type of channel, name it whatever, private, etc. Do next. You'll set your security. I'm just going to skip. So here we have our Joke Bot channel. And what we need to do is we need to get the webhook. We need to create a webhook for this channel. So we'll click the gear next to the channel that says, edit channel. Then we'll go to integrations, and then we'll go to webhooks, and we'll create a webhook. Automatically creates one for you. We can call this AI joke bot. This is going to be whatever the name of the account that's posting to that channel. And then where you want that webhook assigned to, we're assigning it to the joke bot channel. And then we're going to copy our webhook URL. So make sure you copy that and paste it, save it somewhere, and then go ahead and click Save Changes. Great. So now we have that set up. We'll go back to N8N. And like I said, we want to send this stuff to Discord. So our AI agent, if we double click it, we could see it received, tell me a joke about the zoo. And then it's trying to output, why did the giraffe bring a ladder to the zoo? Because it heard the food was on the high level menu. So it got something and now it's showing what it wants to send out. So now what we want to do is it says, what happens next? We want to send the data somewhere. And for our example, we'll do Discord, but you can do stuff like Slack, Teams is in here. You can do like Google Sheets, Google Docs. There's so many different things you can choose here. But like I said, we're going to Discord. So we'll do Discord here. And we want it to send a message to a channel. So let's see here. Right here under message actions, we have send a message. We'll click on that. And connection type is going to be a webhook. And we have to do a credential. So we'll do create new credential. And that webhook we copied earlier, we need to now go ahead and paste that in this box. So go in there, we'll paste that there. We'll click save. Operation is going to be send a message. And then what message are we sending? So we want to take the output from the agent, which was this, why the giraffe bring a ladder. All we have to do literally is click and hold on this output, drag it over to the message, and we're good to go. There's some other options we can add here if we wanted to, but we're not going to do that. So we'll click out of this. Let's go ahead and save. And now what we'll do is we will type in here. Let's say, tell me a joke. Let's say, tell me a pirate joke. Tell me a pirate joke. It's going through. Everything says it was a success. If we click on our agent, it says here, why did the pirate go to the seafood market? Because he heard they had shark and tuna, but he still couldn't find a CR. Okay, so did it work on our Discord? Let's take a look. There you go. There's our joke. The joke bot works. And there you have it. That is how you do your first workflow and set up your first AI agent. That was a very simple setup. We created our agent and we connected it to Grok. And then we took that information and we sent it to a channel in our Discord server. Kind of a cool little, get started. And there's so many different things you can do with this. And you don't have to just trigger your workflow with a chat message. That's just a great one for us to start with. I think in the next video, we might talk about how to connect N8N to Google and see if we can do some manipulation and stuff of Google Sheets or like Google Docs. So make sure you're following the channel to check that out. If there are any other automations you'd like to see, let me know in the comments below. And if you need a place to get your N8N server all set up, check out the link below for Velox Media. They're awesome. Great prices on VPS servers. Until next time, stay safe, have fun, and keep doing good.